What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? We have a tradition of no traditions, prevents Christmas from becoming a big gaping hole should anything happen or not to go to plan one year. Proved amazing this year, as Christmas has not been impacted at all. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Show. Plus 30 years in a row. We've got a few games we play that's part of our family tradition. My whole family meets up at my grandparents' house on Christmas Day and together we have a lot of dogs. We play this game where we get a few people and one dog per team and it's called the wrapping game. We get 5 minutes to wrap up the dogs and whoever's wrapped theirs the best wins. Last year was 6 dogs and they're all medium-large size so they gets very loud and hyper but it's fun. Also the dogs love the game and we don't wrap their heads or feet. We have one dog who doesn't play because he doesn't like noise, and one cousin who doesn't like it either so they go for a walk during the game, so don't worry about the dogs or anything, they're fine. Then we play the chocolate game. The dogs are somewhere else for this game, one bar of chocolate is wrapped in all the paper from the other presents, and the letters closest to the chocolate are scotch tape, until it's really big. We all stand in a circle around the chocolate and also a hat, a scarf, a pair of gloves and a knife and fork. We take it in turns to roll a dice and when you get a 6, you run to the middle, put on the hat, scarves and gloves and try to get the paper off with the knife and fork, but you can only do one layer at a time, and the whole time the dice is going round the circle, and as soon as someone gets a 6 you have to stop immediately. One year my granddad rigged the dice so it wouldn't get a 6. The chocolate game has resulted in many family arguments and occasionally physical injuries. When I was a kid opening my presents on Christmas morning, my parents would write in crazy names on the tags. Obviously I would get 1 or 2 presents from Santa, the best present would be from my parents, and the rest of the presents would say they were from like Alice Cooper or Al Caprellian, local weatherman. I loved it. I'm in my 20s now, but this year my dad is getting presents from Harlem Globetrotters who have had their numbers retired and my mom is getting presents from Dancing with Stars runner-ups. Every Christmas Eve we go to McDonald's for breakfast. No reason why. We just do. My parents always allowed my sister and I to open gifts after the Christmas midnight mass. It would be Christmas Eve when we got to church, and then it'd be Christmas Day when we left, till the 1-hour mass. We made the argument that it was technically Christmas Day by the time mass was done and we were home. Ever since then, our family tradition has been to open gifts as early as 1 AM on Christmas Day and then wake up slowly in the morning. Nothing too crazy, but ever since the missus and I started living together, every Christmas morning we exchange gifts, have coffee and homemade cinnamon buns for breakfast, and then watch a Charlie Brown Christmas before heading out to the in-laws. Every year on Christmas Eve we would have a party, but just for us 4 in the house. We had cold cuts, cheeses, dips, chips, etc. and always had squirt soda. Something that is hard to find in PA. After we ate and talked, we all got pajamas as a wrapped gift we could open on Christmas Eve and we would put them on and go watch It's a Wonderful Life together. On Christmas Eve night my family drives around the city looking at the lights and when we get home, we open one of our presents. On Christmas, once everyone awake we do our stockings, Terry's 4 of us so we each fill one, Secret Santa style, then breakfast, more presents, lunch usually something with corned beef, maybe paninis can't spell. Then we normally go to the movie theaters. This year though we'll be renting a Charlie Brown Christmas and watching at home, then more presents. Then again we normally go to a family member's house for dinner, we will still be meeting them this year, then home and to unwrap any presents that haven't been opened yet. So, a full but fun day. Every year my family tries to get together at my mom and dad's and on Christmas Eve we make a giant cookie on a pizza pan and decorate it so that Santa has his snack. We always ice it with the message Happy Birthday Jesus. Even though we know it isn't likely his actually birthday. My son and I have a marathon of the non-Christmas movie Christmas movies. So Die Hard, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, rare exports. He used to do a few with me and a bunch with his dad. When his dad died 6 years ago, it turned into a whole day for the two of us. My husband / his stepdad doesn't get it, so he just leaves us be. We live on a farm, and every year we go out to chop down a cedar tree a few days before Christmas for our Christmas tree. Cedar always reminds me of Christmas because of that. We also have a tradition we do every Christmas Eve. We make a dish that we call rice mush, items essentially day-long cooked rice. It's not rice pudding. Then that night the whole family gets together and we have sweet soup, a soup made with wine and fruit, Christmas cookies, and the rice mush, which we mix cream, butter, sugar, and cinnamon with. It's a really sweet meal, obviously, but we only do it once a year and it's absolutely delicious. I came here to post my traditions, but now they sound super boring compared to these other ones. The pickle hunt. My parents hid a pickle Christmas ornament in the tree, and whoever finds it gets the pickle gift, which is usually a game or tickets for a group activity. Also, on Christmas Eve, if someone tells you Christmas Eve gift, you have to give them a gift, just a small trinket. My granddad used to do candy, and my dad always did silver dollars. Used to go out walking for the day with only my family while grandparents were inside. I'd be complaining about the cold and frost or ice, as they live on a huge hill and normally are the only people to get snow in my family. I live quite low, so snow only comes when it's bad, even though I live on a hill also. Thinking back, the walking was probably to delay the opening of presents or food. I'm ready for the absolute wholesomeness of this thread. My family steals our trees from the side of a back road someplace. This year we didn't do it, so we fashioned a tree out of asparagus. The first year my husband and I were married, we made a meatloaf on December 23rd. Out of that was born Christmas Eve meatloaf. We'll be celebrating for the 5th year this week. My mum used to get us to leave carrots and water out for the reindeer, as well as a beer and a snack for Santa. The next day the backyard would be a bit of a mess. There'd even be reindeer poo and bits of chewed caro everywhere, as well as the bucket tipped over. So, my sweet mum clearly went out and collected horse shit, flung it around, chewed up carrots and spat them out. She'd also get some men's boots, single mum household, dip them in the ash of the fireplace and walk them throughout the house. There'd always be a mess in the morning and only one bite taken from Santa's food. He had to eat lots of treats and he needed to save room for the other snacks. He'd always smash the beer back though. My neighborhood does a Christmas bike ride and it is my favorite thing. Everyone decorates their bikes with fun lights, and we ride around at night looking at the neighbors' decorations and sing Christmas songs. It's like a huge bike parade. This year about 500 people participated. There was even a guy in a Yeti costume, lol. This is in Florida, so the weather is usually quite good, no snow. 7 different types of fish on Christmas Eve. Christmas tacos. 3 years ago my grandma gave my, now, husband and I a puzzle. We had a friend visiting from overseas that wanted to fight jet lag, so we started the puzzle. It was a red car with grayscale background. The puzzle pieces were not standard shapes. We started this puzzle around 4 p.m, and about 9 p.m. my Bill/Sil came over to help because I kept blowing them up with how hard it was. I kept saying my grandma was testing my relationship with my fiancé and friends as tensions were getting high. If we found a correct piece in under an hour, it was an accomplishment. We stayed awake until 4 a.m. and got back up at 9 a.m. to get back at it. After an hour and tensions back to 100, I got and threw that damn puzzle away. Months later my grandma asked about the puzzle and I finally admitted to throwing it away. My grandma started to chuckle and I slowly looked at her. She bought that puzzle knowing it was impossible. My sweet grandma set me up. Now we hunt down the hardest puzzles for each other for Christmas. I grew up in a vulgar German Catholic household. When I was a kid, every December 5th, St. Nicholas's feast day, we would leave our shoes outside our bedroom doors. If we were good kids, St. Nick would leave candy in them. If you were a bad kid, he would leave sticks. My husband's family takes those tiny boxes of cereal and wraps them in wrapping paper. We start Christmas by unwrapping one and eating it. One is always Raisin Bran. Once we had kids, I firmly decided that Christmas Day is for our nuclear family. I didn't want to be someone who rushes the kids through opening presents, bundles everyone up in the car, navigates snowy roads to drive from relative to relative's house, not to mention our closest family is 2 hours away, and is completely burnt out by bedtime. Our kids are little and I want to enjoy this time when they want to be together as a family. So we take our time opening gifts, spend the day in our jammies, play and read and watch a movie, and then order Chinese takeout for dinner. It's relaxed and it's perfect.